Hey everybody, happy to see you guys. Happy Saturday. I hope everybody is having a good evening. I have literally a few minutes, but I have something I feel very strongly about, and I wanted to share with you guys about this tip how to never get a second date again. And I'm sure that that's something nobody wants. Whether you're dating Ukrainian women, Russian, Hispanic, American, whether you are a man or a woman, that's something you don't want to happen. You don't want to not get an invitation on a second date. And yes, my demographics are mostly men, and I'm kind of more talking about men today. And something that's so crucial, and maybe sometimes we need to train ourselves, like literally, to avoid this mistake that can ruin any opportunity for you. You can be charming, you can be handsome, you can be all of those things, but if you're not attentive to this one issue, you won't get ahead. And it's not only with romantic dates, but also with friendships and business and so on and so forth. And today is Saturday. It's usually date night for many people. So that's kind of inspired us too. And so what is it that I want to share with you guys? That is to not be that one guy that I call, and I think it's probably commonly known as conversational narcissist. The person that turns any conversation towards themselves, jumps in and never gets out. Once again, for you guys, doesn't matter, how handsome you are, how smart you are, how successful you are. If you are a bad listener, if you are not empathetic, thoughtful listener, the woman that is genuine, that is looking for a relationship, is looking for somebody real, close, friendly, she will walk away and she will never look back. Because women share things with you very often, not even that you provide a solution. There are certain things that need a solution, but not everything. Very often women share with you because they want to share. This is how they connect. And when she's sharing with you about something, like let's say she says, oh my god, it was most amazing time, I've been to Paris, and immediately you jump in and you start talking how you've been to Paris and how great it was and how, something else and something else. So basically you turn every conversation toward yourself. Or you even never been somewhere. That's what drives me crazy the most. Like, you can have a conversation about space, about flowers, and conversational narcissist comes into it. He finds a way to relate to that indirectly. And once again, he leads conversation toward himself, his experiences, and he just gets into conversation and never gets out. And this is very sad. It's frustrating for the people. And it's very sad for the lady, because if she's smart, she will realize that she will never be heard. So, honestly, that is something that we should all train yourself. And I was listening to a TED speech and some other speeches, and that was a concept that the leader always speaks the last. His word is the last word. He lets everybody express themselves. He lets everybody show up, make their presence, put an input. But especially for the dates, especially when you get to know somebody, sometimes men get in this idea of impressing the woman with things, and they forget that the best impression that you can give is give attention to the person and listen to them. And one day, as a man, you will need to be, you might have that day when you would like her to listen and empathize and embrace you in that state. Maybe it's something that you have to get out of your chest. And when you know you have been a good listener, you will feel totally okay with asking your lady to listen to you. And she would be happy to do that. Women connect. I see some of the similarity of the importance for the woman to listen, that man is listening, understanding, connecting. And one of the powerful things is to ask a thoughtful question. So I'm giving you the hint right here. Instead of going to your own experiences and starting to dwell on how certain things happen to you as well, ask a thoughtful question on that thing that was just brought up by your lady or anybody else you're having a conversation with. Acknowledge their feelings, share their feelings, empathize, kind of get into their shoes. Try to feel what they are feeling, and then ask another thoughtful question on that situation. This is how you connect. And of course, you know, these things, they have to be genuine. If you just saying that just to say it, it won't look natural, and it won't be you will not get the result of getting closer and feeling good and connecting. So that is my point. You have to, it has to, you know, when you're genuinely interested in people, this is when people have that response, when they are connecting with you and they started liking you, sometimes without any obvious reason for others. But we tend to like people who are interested in us, who acknowledge us, who notice us, who consider that we are a valuable person. So yeah, I think one of the major turn-offs and one of the major mistakes, and I'm kind of talking about men, but of course it applies for women too. If you invite a lady for a date and she never let you say anything, I don't think you will be, unless you know you have some other motives, you will see her again. One time, several months ago, I did have an experience with a friend that could have been a friend. We went out for some coffee, and I was excited to meet that girl because she was spoke the same language, and she even had the same name, which was totally insane because it's somewhat a rare name still. And we had a conversation when we had a conversation, quote unquote, when we went out of that place where we had a treat. I knew everything about her. She didn't know first thing about me because she never asked and never gave me an opportunity to speak. And it was very interesting for me to observe that. And I was thinking, how can I avoid this? Sometimes we get passionate if we want to share about something. There are definitely going to be days when one person, when you already have trust, when one person needs to express more and another one is more on the receiving end. But overall, especially when you are establishing something, let the other person shine. Ask them some questions about something exciting. Ask them what they love doing. Ask them, what gets them going. And you're going to be associated with something positive, and it just would be a fun conversation. So once again, one of the worst things that you guys can do is find a way into the conversation, relate to immediately how all this happened to you, and then just go on and totally ignore the person. Another thing, guys, about Ukrainian women, we kind of have a more of a masculine, approach when we're looking at. I shall say we have more appreciation for masculine. So the guy who is blah 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 is just simply not attractive and not trustworthy. Sort of like the man is a lion and he is the king. His every word has power, and he doesn't talk just to fill the space, to fill up the space. So with that being said, guys, I hope that was helpful. I am building up my VIP club and my Patreon following for more into-depth inside tips. And if you want to be in a closer circle, if you want to meet more people, if you want to kind of be more in this environment where we learn, share, and experience, please contact me, consultveronika@gmail.com. I'm a bit tight now with my consulting schedule, but in about a week it should get better. I'm gonna do my very best to catch up on all the urgent things this coming week. So I'm wishing you a wonderful night, wonderful dinner, walk, I don't know, maybe movies, maybe a date, whatever you're doing. I have to go, and please comment about that. How do you feel about conversational narcissist? And have you ever noticed this in yourself? And what did you do to improve? I will really appreciate these comments on this topic because it's crucial. Thank you, guys, and I wish you a wonderful night.